If a zombie infection started during the Middle Ages, how would people deal with it? Let's look at it in 3 ways. Number 1, how would castles help in a zombie apocalypse? Number 2, how would knights in plate armor fare against the undead hordes? Number 3, would feudalism be a good or bad thing when it comes to the infection? I guess the overarching question depends on when in the Middle Ages we're talking about. Before or after stone castles dot the landscape? Before or after the Black Plague? Because after the Black Death, people already had dealt with a pestilential apocalypse and had ways of mitigating it. The word for quarantine actually comes from the Italian word quaranta giorni, which means 40 days. This period of isolation was known as a quarantina. And of course, Motte and Bailey wood castles and Norman-style stone castles makes a difference when it comes to a siege of zombies. So let's just say it's before the Black Death. Maybe the Crusaders coming back from the Holy Land brought with them a zombie virus that started in the chaos and darkness of war. In a bloody hospital, perhaps. Either way, the zombies spread across Europe. How do stone castles hold up? Well, like the badass fortresses they are. Thick-cut stone ramparts 10 to 15 feet high keep shamblers from simply climbing over. The battlements let defenders rain down arrows, boiling oil, or rocks. There are limited and defensible entrances. A single gatehouse with a reinforced portcullis and heavy doors funnels attackers into a narrow kill zone. Murder holes in the ceiling let defenders strike down on the zombies. And of course, you can raise the drawbridge entirely. A moat will also help thin the zombie herd before it gets to the walls. Inner curtain walls and concentric baileys means that if one ring fails, survivors can just fall back to another fortified line.
No, now go away or I shall taunt you.
On-site wells, cisterns, and granaries let a garrison hold out if a zombie horde lingers for weeks. Stables and workshops allow defenders to repair weapons, tend livestock, and grow gardens all inside. Of course, if someone brings the infection inside, it's done. What about plate armor? Another win against the undead. Full-body plate armor deflects bites, tearing, and trauma. Greaves and vambraces and helmets protect the knight from most bites. If you have gauntlets or armored gloves with reinforced knuckles, you could probably punch zombies' heads off, especially if it's a hot European summer. And then the psychological edge is huge. Imagine you're a soldier and you just see a knight mow through zombies like he's weed-whacking the estate's lawn. Of course, the restricted mobility and heat buildup in full armor would be a downside. And if 1,000 zombies pile on, no amount of steel will save you. And finally, how does the socio-political and economic mode of feudalism fare against the zombie infection? It might actually help to have decentralized defense networks, with individual local lords and fortified points, instead of huge megacities where the zombies grow out of control, as in modern times. So that's a plus. And oaths of fealty encourage fighting all up and down the hierarchy. But having no central state authority that can equip massive armies and relief efforts could let the spread continue. And then there are wavering serf loyalties, peasant revolts, and local hoarding of grain stores sparking famine in outlying villages that would make everything worse. Either way, I think people in the Middle Ages would be uniquely adept at handling a zombie apocalypse. Martial people who are experienced in war, have massive fortifications, and there's just not the huge population size of Europe until you get to the 19th century. But what do you think?